Okay, so I've been getting a couple of requests, people wanting to know my process as far as me doing a flyer. So what I'm going to do is show you how I do a flyer from the beginning to the end. So this particular flyer that I'm doing, it's going to be for Monica. Monica is a R&B singer, and she's going to be performing at the Met in Philadelphia. So first things first is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new workspace. 4x6 is what I normally use, 300 resolution. Push create. Now what I need to do is go ahead and find a picture for Monica. So I usually go to Google. I'll type in Monica, see what kind of picture she got. I go to images. She got a few on here. Some of them look older. Some of them don't look like you would put it on a flyer. But let me try this. Let me put in Monica 2022. Okay, yeah, these are better. So these are more recent pictures. I think I see one that I like already. I think I might use this one here. All right, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and click on the picture and drag it to the workspace over in Photoshop. Once you get into Photoshop, you can go ahead and click on your object selection tool. Now, the object selection tool has three different variations. So you want to click the first category. So that will be object selection tool. And then you would go to the top and push select subject. As you can see, it selected the subject and it has Monica with the outlines around the lasso around it. Sometimes it gets it messed up, and some like right here, you see where her fingernail is. That shouldn't be like that. So what I need to do is just go to my lasso tool or polygon lasso tool. I'll take that, hold down the shift button until you see the plus sign, and then just click around it. And that'll add the selection. And also right here where she's missing her fingernail out of selection, I'll go ahead and put that on too. Oops. All right, so everything else looks pretty good. So I'll go ahead and take this out. Once again, you want to go back to the selection tool and then click the second option over here where it says select and mask. And that just takes out the background. So sometimes you will have to adjust it just depending on what look you're going for. Right now, I already have it set at a adjustment that I like. So I'll just push OK. And then zoom out. So the first part is done. So now what we need to do is just we have to go get a background. So let's see what kind of backgrounds we can do. I go back to Google and then I'll put in flyer backgrounds. See what comes up. Want to get something nice, something classy. I want to keep it classy. I want to keep it clean. I don't want to be too busy. So I won't go too crazy on this one. Sometimes you can get them for free, and sometimes people charge for them. This one is from Adobe. Looks like you probably have to pay for this one. So let me try it. I'm gonna put in free, and then I'm gonna add party flyer too, just so we might get something a little more exciting. All right, so these are some party flyer backgrounds. Looks like they have a lot of flyers on here too. So I just need the background. I don't need all of the words and everything on it. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything that I like. So let me go to another website that I like to use too, called PNG Tree, and that's PNG Tree.com. And so I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and put in background. All right, some nice backgrounds come, and then they give you a certain amount for free every day, and then you have to, pay or get a membership to this website in order to keep continuously downloading. But I think they give you a certain amount a day that you can download for free. So I'm just going to keep scrolling until I see something that I like. Let me see. Okay, maybe I'll try to work with this here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and download this JPEG. Oh, okay, there it is. 2 free downloads left today. So I think you get 2 a day. Put it on my desktop, new folder. Put Monica Flyer BG. And now I'll put that in there. Okay, so now that I have the background, I can go ahead and drag it from my browser, depending on what type of browser you have, but you might have to go and locate it on your computer and then bring it in. The layer is over top of Monica, so I have to drag the layer down, bring it behind. Maybe I'll stretch it out just a little bit. All right, now I want to make her a little bit bigger. Then I'll brighten her up just a little bit too. I'll take the brightness up just so she can pop up a little more. I'm actually going to change the background color. I don't really like the blue with her picture, so I want to see what other color is going to look good with her. And for that, I'll just go to image, go to adjustment, go to hue saturation, and this will give me. It's going to give me an option for colorize. I'll colorize it. I'll take the saturation back up just a little bit, and then this way I can see what color I want to use. Just brighten it up just a little more. Lightness. I'll just scroll until I find a good color. I think I like that color there. Lighten it up just a little bit more. Maybe I'll take the saturation down just a little bit. I'm trying to maybe match a little bit of her eyeshadow and her skin tones just a little bit, so it can blend in just a little more. All right. Okay, let's try that. Okay, that's good. All right, now if you notice that this picture, for whatever reason, it's not, it's kind of cropped from her chest up. So what I want to do is I'm going to get my lasso tool, bring it down, make a whole square or a square-like shape. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take my marquise tool, the square tool here, and then I'm going to click on her layer, and I'm going to bring this down. All right, I know it looks distorted, but what I'm about to do, it'll make sense in a minute. So what I'll do is I'm going to mask it. I'm going to take a layer mask, then take the gradient, start about right here, and pull up. Let me try that again. Right there. Yeah, so it just doesn't look chopped at the bottom. All right, so now we got that. And what I like to do too is I like for to be a little bit of brightness behind her just to pop the picture out, because I don't want the picture just to blend in with the background so much. So what I'm going to do is create a new layer. To create a new layer over top of the background. And then I'm going to get the circle um, marquee tool, and I'm going to put the feather at about 50. I'm going to make sure that my palette is white. I'm going to get the color white, and now I'm going to make a circle about that big. And now I'm going to get my paint bucket, which is sometimes in the same category with the gradient tool and the 3D material drop tool. But I just want to get the paint bucket for now. And I'm going to dump the paint right here. Okay, so now that created a new layer of some white brightness. So now what I'm going to do is just expand it, make it a little bigger. Come right behind Monica's picture, just to give it that pop I'm looking for. Separate it from the background. And then I'm going to click on her, and then I'm going to, these two layers are click together. So right now what I'm going to do is just link them together. So anytime I move it, they'll move together. All right. So now if you notice there's a white space at the bottom that needs to be filled in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my gradient tool this time, but I'm going to change the color from white to this goldish color. And then I'm going to change it back to the gradient tool. As you can see, the gradient tool fades to no color at all. So it goes from the brownish color into a transparency. So so now what I need to do is I make sure that I'm on this layer that I'm about to go over top of. I'll add a layer, and now I'll take my gradient tool, start from here and go up, and that completes the whole flyer. And now it's full, and we don't have that white in the bottom anymore. All right, so now since we have the picture, we got the background, now we have to start filling in the words. We want to get the nice, actually, you know what? It's Monica and Rue. I just saw that. So let me get a picture of Rue. Let's find out where's a picture of Rue at. I'll go back to Google. I'll go to Rue. RuPaul, not RuPaul. Just Rue. I wonder where she come up. No. All right, so I might have to put Rue R&B singer. Okay, here she is. Let's see. All right, yeah, she's right here. Go ahead and grab. Let me make sure that's the best one I want to use. Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of them, so I think I might just be stuck with this one. So, not that one, this one. All right, and so I'm just gonna do the same thing we just did. Grab the selection tool, click it, select subject, and select and mask. Comes right out. Let me make sure. Yeah, it looks like everything is cool with her. All right, now we got her here. So Monica's, I guess, the headliner. Rue. Usually the headliner may be a little bigger than the opening acts. So, but I still make her fairly big enough so you can see who she is. All right, I'll put her at the top here. All right, now we got both of them on there. So now we just have to put in the words. And the words over here is, let's say, Creative Nation Presents, which is easy enough. I just copy that. Uh, I usually put the presents and all that stuff at the top, but I mean, you can put it where you want to put it. I just clicked the copy and pasted it. Now I have to change the color in order for it to show up. And I usually like mine to be in all cap at the top. So what I'll do is if you click on these double T's right here, it'll make everything um, all caps. I kind of like the font, so I don't need to change that for now. The presents usually is a simple font. I mean, you don't have to get too fancy with the presents because it can compete with the other words on there. So we're just going to keep it basic, keep it clean, and then because when we do Monica's name and Rue's name, it's going to be a little more fancy. So I don't want it to compete with the presents. So um, now I'll just go ahead and copy Monica's name, copy and paste it. Now I have a ton of fonts, so now I have to go and see what kind of font I should use. All right, so I just put it on the font selection and then push my down button, my arrow. And I just go to keep on scrolling until I find something that I like. Let me try to find something a little feminine. But that's not always the case. You know, sometimes you can do a bold font and it look just as good with a female artist, but I'm looking for something kind of sexy. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, we're gonna go with that for now. And then we're gonna center it. If you want to know exactly if you're in the middle of your flyer or not, there's an option at the top that can align it for you. So this is align horizontal. So when I click on that, it moves it to the center. So I don't have to worry about if it's centered or not. Rule, I'm going to move down just a little bit. And let's see, Monica. And I'm going to do a cursive and just to kind of give it a little more contrast. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Maybe I'll do a different color than the font. Maybe like a yellow, a light yellow. Monica and then I'm going to go ahead and use the same font for Rue. I take Monica's name, so I don't have to adjust the settings. I can just keep it the same way. I just push down the option button and click and drag, so you can duplicate it. That way, the font stays exactly the same size, same color. Everything is the same. So I'll put Rue, Monica, and Rue. All right, cool. So now we have both of them on there. Now we have to look for, let's see, the date. The date is July 30th. So we're going to go ahead and throw the date on there, July 30th. I'm going to use a different font for this though. Let's see. As a matter of fact, let me do this. I'm going to make Monica just slightly smaller. Just slightly. Just so I have some space at the top on the right corner. Because I'm going to put that, I'm going to put the date in the corner at the top in a circle. I'm going to make a circle. And for this, you can use the, I think it's the rectangle tool, but it's not the rectangle. You go to a ellipse tool, and you can just go ahead and make a circle for the ellipse tool. Now for the ellipse tool, when you're using these, you can adjust the colors and the outlines, the strokes and everything at the top here in the panel. So for this, I don't want it to be brown. I'm going to change the color into white, and then I'm going to do a stroke around it, and I'll do like a dark brown. Let's see, so we use it. I found like a dark brown to use. And then instead of 1 pixel, let's do 6. Cool. And now we got the circle. So what I'm going to do is put July up here. I'm going to make that brown too. July, and I'm going to change the font. We'll try to find a basic font, sort of like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the spacing in between into so the letters will be just a little bit closer together. Maybe right around 50. I'll do that. Negative 50, I should say. And then I'll push this closer. So both of them are together. And I know it runs together. And it's July 30, all one word. But I'm going to change the color of the 30. So when you click on the 30, I'm going to make that yellow so you can tell it apart. So you know exactly what it's supposed to say. As far as the color goes, I'll do like an orange because that's a complement that complements the flyer as well. So I got July 30th. And I don't know what day July 30th is on. So let me ask Siri. What day is July 30th?
It's Saturday, the 30th of July, 2022.
Okay, so there you have it. It's on a Saturday. So let's do Saturday. And maybe do another font. Make it a little smaller. Saturday, July 30th. All right. So now, what else do we have? We got the date. We got the let's see. We got the acts. We got the Creative Nation Presents. Next thing we have is the location of where the venue is. So we're going to look for the venue. The venue is called the Met, and that looks to be in Philadelphia. So we're going to look online again for the Met, Philadelphia. Oops. Philadelphia. What? The Met, Philadelphia. All right, let's see. This is not working so well. Let's see. Philadelphia. All right, let's look for the Met Philadelphia. The Met Philadelphia. All right, so go to images. Let's go to logo. We need a logo. There we go. So now we have the logo for the Met. And let's see. I like when they come without the background on it. Let's see if they have the background on it. To save me from having to take it out. Oh, here's one. You can use that. Click it and drag it. Now, if the venue that you are doing a flyer for doesn't have a logo, then you can just type it out. It doesn't have to. It doesn't necessarily have to be a logo, but this particular one has a logo, so we're gonna use it. All right. So we got the Met. Looks like we got enough space. We'll go ahead and make it a little larger. Put it right here. Actually, you know what I need to do? I'm gonna put performing live. And I'm gonna use a cursive writing to complement what we already have. Performing live. Take it off the bold. And we're gonna be looking for cursive. There we go. Let's move her over just a little bit. Yeah, well, actually, you know what? This doesn't necessarily have to be in the center. I can move this over some. So I'm going to click on the and sign and rule. Slide it over. That way I can give her a little more space, give her picture a little more space. And then I'm going to slant the performing live. Make it a little bit bigger. Then we can slide her over a little bit more. Good. Okay. So I like the color of the Met, but I'm going to change it into a little bit lighter shade of yellow. So what I'm going to do is double click on the layer. I'm going to take color overlay, and then I'm going to grab the color off of this and sign so they can be exactly the same. Boom. There it is. Next, we're going to put the address. And once again, we're just going to use some simple lettering. Basically like an Arial type font, or I use a font called Montserrat. And I'll capitalize it. I'll let it run all on the same line. And I can resize it as needed. The last thing they have on here is for the ticket information. So I'm going to go ahead and use this last bit of space that we have down here and do the ticket information. And it looks like it. So the only other thing is it's kind of blending in with her shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and make another gradient over top of her Just her arm though. It's not gonna be much. I'm gonna take it and then I'm gonna create a new layer, add a layer, take this. I'm gonna make a darker uh, shade of this brownish color. Not too dark, but just enough. And then I'm gonna slightly do my gradient on the edge. You notice that it's not straight up and down, it's kind of on an angle because I don't want it to cover up all of her, but just a little bit. So since I made it a little darker, I'm gonna make these words white instead. So now you can see it. And that's it. They don't have the time on here, but when they give me the time, I'm gonna just, matter of fact, I'll just put a space on it for now. So let's just say it's from 9 until 2 a.m. Then I would put it right here. I'll just put 9 p to 2 a. I'm sure I'm gonna have to change that, but I'll just leave it like that for now. All right, so I hope you enjoyed looking at me and looking at my process. So until next time, I'll see you then.